A sunny afternoon in the sleepy town of Milford, where everyone knows everyone's business. And Karen Wilkins decides today is the day she'll throw her weight around like she owns the place. She's that classic entitled type. Always demanding to speak to the manager. Always convinced the world owes her perfection. But this time, she picks the wrong target, Jack Harlan. The guy whispered about in hushed tones as the most dangerous man in town, and it spirals into a nightmare she never saw coming. It all kicks off at the local diner. The kind with checkered floors and the smell of fresh coffee mingling with sizzling bacon. Karen storms in, her heels clicking sharply against the linoleum. Already fuming because her online order for a gluten-free latte got messed up. "This is unacceptable," she bellows, slamming her phone on the counter. The young barista, wide-eyed and trembling, stammers an apology. But that's not enough for Karen. Oh no. She wants blood, or at least a full refund and a free meal. And who's sitting at the corner booth, nursing a black coffee and minding his own damn business? Jack Harlan, ex-Marine turned local enforcer for the town's shady underbelly. The man with tattoos snaking up his arms and a stare that could freeze lava. Jack's not one to back down. He's seen combat zones hotter than this diner's grill. And some middle-aged busybody yelling about foam isn't going to rattle him. But Karen spots him glancing her way. Maybe he smirked. Or maybe she just imagined it, and that's her cue. "What are you looking at, you thug?" she snaps, whipping around to face him. The diner falls silent, forks clinking to a halt, the hum of conversation dying like a deflating balloon. Jack sets his mug down with a deliberate thud, the sound echoing like a warning shot. "Lady, mind your own lane," he growls low, his voice gravelly from years of barking orders in the trenches. But Karen? She's on a roll now, her cheeks flushing red as she marches over, oblivious to the danger. Why does she do it? Is it the entitlement bubbling up from years of getting her way? Or just a bad day pushing her over the edge? Whatever it is, she pokes the bear. "People like you ruin this town. You're probably the reason my order's wrong, sitting here like you own the place." The air thickens with tension, the scent of burnt toast suddenly overpowering, as if the grill itself senses the storm brewing. Jack stands slowly, towering over her at 6'4", his shadow engulfing her like a dark cloud. A collective gasp ripples through the patrons. Someone whispers, "That's Jack Harlan." She doesn't know who she's messing with. Karen doesn't flinch. Instead, she pulls out her phone, dialing 911 with dramatic flair. "Yes, officer. There's a threatening man here harassing me," she cries, her voice pitching higher, laced with fake tears. Jack chuckles, a deep, rumbling sound that sends shivers down spines, but he doesn't move. He's patient, calculating, like a predator waiting for the prey to tire itself out. The barista hides behind the counter, peeking out with wide eyes, while an elderly couple at the next table exchanges worried glances. The diner's bell jingles as more locals peek in, drawn by the commotion. Whispers spread. Karen's at it again. But this isn't her usual petty squabble, this is crossing into dangerous territory. Minutes tick by agonizingly, the clock on the wall ticking louder than usual, each second amplifying the awkward silence punctuated by Karen's huffing breaths. She paces, muttering under her breath about respect and customer service, her perfume, a cloying floral scent, wafting through the room like an unwelcome intruder. Jack just sips his coffee, unfazed, his fingers drumming a steady rhythm on the table. Tap tap tap. It's hypnotic, almost mocking. "You think you're tough?" Karen hisses, leaning in too close. "I've dealt with worse than you." Oh, if only she knew. Jack's past is a minefield, dishonorable discharge after a bar fight gone wrong, rumors of underground dealings, and a reputation for making problems disappear. The cops arrive with sirens blaring, Red and blue lights flashing through the windows like strobe lights at a bad party. Officer Ramirez steps in. A no-nonsense guy who's dealt with Karen's calls before. "What's the issue here?" he asks. Notepad in hand. Karen launches into her tirade, pointing accusingly at Jack. "This man threatened me. He's dangerous, look at him." But Jack. He stays calm, pulling out his wallet with deliberate slowness. "Officer, I was just enjoying my coffee when this lady started yelling." His voice is steady, almost soothing. But there's an edge to it, like a knife hidden in velvet. Here's where the twist hits like a sucker punch. As Ramirez questions them, Jack casually mentions, "You know, Karen, I've seen you around. Driving that fancy SUV of yours a bit recklessly last week." Karen's face pales, her bluster faltering. "What? How does he know?" Turns out, Jack owns the security company that monitors the town's traffic cams, a little side gig he picked up after the military. And he's got footage of Karen running a red light, nearly hitting a pedestrian. But that's not all. Digging deeper in his mind, he recalls overhearing her at the grocery store last month, bragging about faking a slip and fall for insurance money. "Fraud's a serious charge," Jack says quietly, just loud enough for Ramirez to hear. Karen stammers, "That's ridiculous. You're lying." But the doubt creeps in, her voice cracking like thin ice. The diner patrons lean in, the air buzzing with murmurs. "Did she really do that?" someone whispers. The smell of cooling grease from the kitchen turns her stomach, nausea rising with her panic. Ramirez raises an eyebrow, pulling out his radio. "Let me check on that." Sweat beads on Karen's forehead, her heart pounds like a drum in her chest. Thump thump thump. Is this really happening? She thought she was the victim here. As the officer verifies the footage, the room feels smaller, the walls closing in. Jack leans back, a faint smile playing on his lips, not triumphant, but satisfied, like justice served cold. Karen's mind races. How could this backfire so spectacularly? She's always been the one in control, the one who wins these battles. But now, the tables turn with a vicious twist. Ramirez returns, his expression stern. "Ma'am, we have evidence of reckless driving. And if there's insurance fraud involved." He trails off, but the implication hangs heavy, like storm clouds ready to burst. Karen explodes in denial. "This is outrageous. He's the criminal here." She lunges forward, grabbing at Jack's arm in a fit of rage. "Big mistake." Jack dodges effortlessly, years of training kicking in. And she stumbles, knocking over a chair with a deafening crash. Wood splinters. Coffee spills in a dark puddle, mirroring her crumbling facade. The patrons erupt, some cheering quietly for Jack, others shaking their heads at Karen's meltdown. "Enough!" Ramirez barks, cuffing her wrists with a metallic click that echoes her defeat. But the real gut punch comes later. Word spreads like wildfire through Milford. Social media lights up, posts about Karen's epic fail with blurry diner photos. Her boss at the real estate firm, where she's known for pushing shady deals, sees the footage and fires her on the spot. "We can't have this drama," he says over the phone, his voice dripping with disappointment. Karen sits alone in her living room that night, the silence deafening, broken only by her ragged sobs. The scent of her untouched dinner grows cold, a reminder of her isolation. Friends, or what she thought were friends, ghost her texts. Even her husband sighs deeply, packing a bag. "Karen, this has to stop," he mutters, the door slamming shut behind him. Days turn to weeks, and the town moves on. But Karen's world crumbles. She tries to sue Jack, but his connections run deep, lawyers back off. Evidence mounts against her. The insurance scam. It unravels, leading to fines she can't afford. Bankruptcy looms. Her fancy SUV repossessed under the harsh glare of repo truck lights. One rainy evening, she wanders back to the diner, peering through the fogged window. Inside, laughter rings out, the warm glow mocking her. Jack's there, chatting with locals, a hero in their eyes. She turns away, rain mixing with tears, a bitter taste in her mouth. Yet, in the depths of her despair, a spark ignites. Karen hits rock bottom, forced to confront her ways. She volunteers at a shelter, helping those she's ignored before. It's grueling, the smells of unwashed clothes, the sounds of weary sighs, but it chips away at her ego. Why did I become this person, she whispers to herself one night, staring at her reflection. The transformation isn't easy, old habits die hard. But slowly, apologies trickle out to the barista, to Ramirez, even a hesitant note to Jack. The climax crashes in when Karen faces Jack again. Not in anger, but humility. At a town meeting, debating community issues, she stands up. I was wrong, she admits, voice trembling. The room hushes, eyes wide. Jack nods from the back. No words needed. It's not forgiveness overnight, but a start. Karen rebuilds, piece by piece, finding peace in anonymity. And the lesson? Karma doesn't play favorites, it circles back with a vengeance. In a world quick to judge, picking fights with the wrong people can unravel your life. But here's the inspiration, even the most entitled can change, turning bitterness into growth. Justice isn't always loud, sometimes it's the quiet reckoning that hits hardest. So next time you feel that rage bubbling, pause, breathe, and ask, is this worth the fallout? Because in Milford, and everywhere else, what goes around truly comes around.